Quote, based on the latest United States guidelines for these forever chemicals in drinking water, rainwater everywhere should be judged unsafe to drink.
History is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Is it raining where you are right now when you're listening to this? Are you in a car? Is there just water droplets? Are they just drenching the front of your car? You got your wipers on maybe? Or are you sitting next to your, I don't know, window looking out, listening to the pitter patter of that wonderful rain? Maybe you got a glass of water. Hey, you got a glass of water right now? Some ice in it maybe? Just enjoying that stuff? Well, this story is for you. I'm just going to read the headline. Should I just read the headline? Water is awesome. Man, it's great. And rain is cool too. You remember being a kid running outside in the rain until the lightning got too close, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did that.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that sometimes, actually. I'm a kid, but that's how it works. Well, y'all, we're not going to be doing that very much in the near future. We probably shouldn't be doing it now, and we probably shouldn't have been doing it for a while. That's because, according to Phys.org, BBC, a bunch of very intelligent people doing research, the rain is very, very, very dangerous for us now. Here's the article. It's from Phys.org. It was posted on August 2nd, 2022. Here's the title. It's raining PFAS. Remember those? Those are forever chemicals. We've talked about them before. Mm-hmm. Even in Antarctica and on the Tibetan Plateau, rainwater is unsafe to drink. This is according to research from Stockholm University. There are at least researchers who were working out of Stockholm University. It was an article published in Environmental Science and Technology. And essentially they are suggesting that all of the studying that we've been doing for, gosh, I don't know how many decades now we've been studying these forever chemicals, when we first started noticing that they're leaching into the environment, leaching into humans, into our products, our food, our water, all of that stuff. We've been studying for a long time, and what these researchers posited is that the levels of contamination across the globe of these forever chemicals has reached a new, quote, planetary boundary that has been exceeded. So I'm going to read you this quote. It's from the article. Quote, based on the latest United States guidelines for these forever chemicals in drinking water, rainwater everywhere should be judged unsafe to drink. So now let's talk about what that means. Based on the U.S. standards for how much of these forever chemicals is allowed within drinking water for it to be safe for human consumption, all of the water that falls from the sky across the globe, including in those far-reaching places that were mentioned, Tibetan Plateau and Antarctica, it should be considered unsafe to open your mouth and let the rain come into your mouth and ingest it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which, as a codename Doc and you and I were talking about off air, it's going to be a game changer for rom-coms.
Well, that is just really bad news for Spider-Man. I remember that scene. I hope you remember that scene too. That was a really good scene. The kiss in the rain is what I'm talking about. Okay, so Ben, just as I mentioned at the top, we've been talking about this stuff for a while, specifically about land and like waterways that were contaminated with this stuff, and then it was getting into farm animals, pets, and even into like well water that was being consumed by humans, and it was a problem. Now, thinking that it's just falling from the sky at levels that are, at least according to the U.S., unsafe for us to consume everywhere, like that feels like post-apocalyptic stuff to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's indicative of a larger problem. I guess for us to step back, for anybody who's confused about what PFAs are, and you describe it excellently, it's a group name. it's a group name for any number of chemicals. The acronym stands for one of two things: perfluoroalkyl or polyfluoroalkyl. So you're welcome. We're sticking with PFAs. this
Yeah.
this stuff is used in a bunch of things, from like fire suppressing foam to packaging and food you buy in the grocery store, carpets, nonstick pans, polishes, paints, you name it. The reason it's important to be concerned about this is not just it's not just like the danger of microplastics, right? Which the research is still ongoing on. It is known and proven that PFAS can cause developmental problems in infants. They can lower fertility. They can interfere with hormones, increase cholesterol levels, and of course, what does any dangerous chemical do? It can increase your risk of cancer. Uh, but there is, I don't know. I was surprised when we were first reading about this, because way back when we were looking at PFAs a number of years ago on Stuff They Don't Want You to Know, we had that conversation. We've had this iterations of this conversation so often. Who decides the safe limit? My favorite example is boxes of cereal. There's some group of people who said, okay, this amount of rat poop is fine. We just got to be realistic. That's, let's call it the 2 scoops limit. That much rat poop. That's it. Any over that, then it's a problem. This can sound cold, but governmental bodies have to think this way, because it's literally at this point impossible for them to get all of the PFAs out of the water system, out of the water cycle. I don't know about the rat poop. Maybe one person was just like, I don't know, I like a little kick, I like to live on the edge with those Wheaties.
Well, let's talk about the regulations because they differ from country to country, and different parts of the world they're very, very different. If you go to reporting out of the BBC, they have an article you can find titled "Pollution: Forever Chemicals in Rainwater Exceed Safe Levels," and they're a little specific about this, a little vague about this, but they are saying that this is only with regards to the U.S. regulations or the U.S. safety standards that are outlined. In Europe, parts of Europe, it's different. In the UK, if you're out in the United Kingdom, the same level that was found, across the earth that was dangerous according to U.S. levels is not dangerous according to the UK regulations. But they do exceed the European Union thresholds of safety. So it really just depends, Ben, as you said, on who decides what's safe and what's not.
I like a little salmonella. Let's not get rid of all the salmonella.
Yeah. Well, so here's the scary thing. There was a BBC investigation not long ago that looked at these same forever chemicals in drinking water, not in rainwater, the stuff that we think is natural coming from the sky, but the drinking water, the stuff that gets treated and goes into houses via pipes after going through massive, expensive water treatment plants. And they threw up a flag saying, hey, there's quite a bit more of this stuff in our drinking water than we expected. And it's going to be crazy expensive to get it out, because you have to upgrade each and every one of those water treatment centers, like with millions and millions of dollars, in order to get this stuff out. And then it becomes, and that's just, we're talking about the UK there, but that's not, if you imagine it on a world scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much money it will cost to get these chemicals out of just the drinking water. That's not out of the environment itself, the soil that grows plants, the water sources that are fed to cattle and other animals that we consume, the water that we play in for recreation in lakes and rivers, in the ocean. This is it's a horrible crisis. And it doesn't even matter that is 3M is the company that was originally creating Teflon and putting that out in the world, which is kind of, what we talked about first time we talked about PFAs. Even though they stopped manufacturing it, there are still 4,500 other compounds that are the same thing. They're these carbon chains that just stick around forever. And it's horrifying, and it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. So what has to happen now, like yesterday, is some kind of regulation has to stop these things from getting into all of the consumer products. Not all of them. A vast number of the consumer products that we use every day.
Yeah, agreed and well said.